Every night, millions of people sleep in tents, in national parks, in forests, in the middle of grizzly bear territory, wolf country, mountain lion range, and almost none of them get eaten. That sounds obvious until you actually think about it. You're a 180-pound bag of meat, completely unconscious, lying on the ground, making noise, unable to run. You are by every biological definition the perfect prey animal. So why doesn't anything eat you? Let's start with what predators are actually doing at night. Most large predators, wolves, mountain lions, leopards, hyenas, are most active between dusk and dawn. That's when they hunt, that's when they move, that's when they're hungry and looking for something to kill. And they absolutely know you're there. A grizzly bear can smell you from 20 miles away. A wolf can hear your heartbeat from over a mile in the right conditions. A mountain lion could be sitting 30 feet from your tent right now and you would have zero idea. They're not missing you. They're choosing to leave you alone. The question is why? Predators aren't built to be brave. They're built to survive. And in the wild, those are two very different things. A wolf that takes unnecessary risks doesn't live long enough to pass on its genes. A lion that charges into something it doesn't understand doesn't eat tomorrow. Every large predator alive today is the descendant of animals that were cautious, and humans feel very wrong to them. We don't move like prey. We don't smell like prey. We don't sound like prey. A deer freezes when it senses danger. A rabbit bolts. Every prey animal on the planet has a predictable response to a threat, and predators have learned to read those responses over millions of years of evolution. You don't have any of those responses. You sleep completely still for hours. You breathe at a slow, steady rhythm. You make no attempt to flee. You radiate heat. You carry strange smells. Synthetic fabrics, food, chemicals, fire. To a predator encountering a human for the first time, nothing about you computes, and animals are deeply, instinctively suspicious of things that don't compute. There's a concept in animal behavior called neophobia, fear of the unfamiliar. Most large predators have it, and they have it for a very good reason. In the wild, the things you don't recognize are the things most likely to kill you. A new smell, a new sound, a new shape in the darkness that doesn't match anything stored in your memory. The smart move is to avoid it. Humans trigger neophobia hard. We carry fire, we carry metal, we carry synthetic materials that have never existed in nature. Even our sweat is chemically unusual compared to other mammals, full of compounds from the food we eat, the products we use, the environments we live in. To a wolf or a bear, a sleeping human in a tent doesn't register as food. It registers as a threat they haven't figured out yet. But here's what really locks it in. Humans have been killing large predators for a very long time. Hundreds of thousands of years. We've been hunting wolves, lions, bears, and big cats since before we had written language. We've driven multiple apex predators completely to extinction. The dire wolf, the cave lion, the American cheetah, gone, largely because of us. The predators that are still here learned, generation by generation, that humans are dangerous, not just physically, but unpredictably dangerous. A sleeping deer is still a deer. A sleeping human could have a spear in its hand. There's solid evidence of this in predator behavior across every continent. In areas where large predators have had consistent human contact for generations, they give humans a wide berth. In areas where animals have had no human contact at all, they're actually more curious and less afraid. The fear has to be learned, and most populations of large predators have had thousands of years to learn it. So what about the attacks that actually do happen? Because they do. People get attacked by mountain lions on trails. Campers get mauled by bears. Tourists get too close to wild animals and pay for it. Almost none of those attacks happen while the person is sleeping. When they do, it's almost always connected to one of three things. Food. A bear that has learned to associate campsites with food stops seeing humans as a threat and starts seeing them as a source. That's when things go wrong. It's not predatory behavior. It's opportunistic behavior that breaks down the normal fear response. A fed bear is genuinely a dangerous bear, not because it got brave, but because the equation changed. Desperation. A starving predator, injured and unable to hunt normally, is a predator that may override its instincts out of pure necessity. The famous man-eating lions of Tsavo, the ones that killed dozens of railway workers in Kenya in 1898, were both found to have severe dental damage that made hunting their normal prey nearly impossible. Surprise. A human who accidentally corners an animal, or stumbles across a mother with cubs, or reaches into a space where something is hiding, gets attacked not as prey, but as a threat. The animal isn't hunting, it's defending. Notice what's not on that list. A predator that calmly chose to attack a sleeping, non-threatening human for food. That almost never happens. And when researchers dig into the rare cases where it does, there's almost always a breakdown in the normal conditions. The animal is sick, injured, food conditioned, or had something go deeply wrong. There's one more piece to this that most people haven't heard. Wolves and other large social predators are deeply sensitive to group dynamics. They're constantly reading the social structure of whatever they're looking at. When they observe a group of animals, they're calculating hierarchy. Who's dominant? Who's vulnerable? Researchers who study wolf behavior have noted something strange. When wolves encounter sleeping humans in the wild, they frequently circle without approaching. They observe from a distance. They seem to be trying to figure out what the social structure is. And a sleeping human sends confusing signals. No submission, no dominance display, no body language at all. Just a calm, unresponsive creature that doesn't seem to register the wolf's presence. That confusion is protection. There's a deeper truth sitting underneath all of this. We've spent so much of human history being afraid of the dark, afraid of what's out there, building fires, building walls, sleeping in groups for protection. And for most of our history, that fear made sense. Early humans were genuinely vulnerable. We were smaller, slower, and far more exposed than we are now. But somewhere along the way, the balance shifted. We became so widespread, so consistently dangerous, so deeply woven into the landscape across every continent that large predators adapted around us. The populations that didn't learn to avoid humans got hunted out. The ones that did survived. The wilderness that feels so threatening when you're lying in a tent in the dark isn't looking at you the way you're looking at it. The wolf circling your campfire isn't deciding whether to attack. It's deciding whether you're something it wants to risk getting anywhere near. And almost every time it decides you're not worth it. And the data backs this up in a way that should genuinely surprise you. The National Park Service records every significant wildlife encounter in U.S. parks. Millions of people camp in bear and mountain lion territory every single year. The number of fatal predator attacks on sleeping campers across all recorded national park history is effectively zero. You are statistically more likely to be struck by lightning inside the park than to be attacked by a predator while you sleep in it. More likely to get injured driving to the trailhead. The fear and the reality are so far apart, it's almost hard to believe, until you understand everything that's working in your favor the moment you close your eyes. So the next time you're lying awake in a tent, listening to something move through the trees outside, trying to decide if you should be afraid, here's what's actually happening. Whatever is out there knows you're there. It smelled you hours ago. It heard you settle in. It's been aware of your breathing the entire time. And it's choosing to keep its distance. Not because it can't reach you, but because somewhere in the deep wiring of every large predator still alive on this planet, there is a lesson that has been passed down through thousands of generations. Humans are not prey. Humans are something else entirely. Sleep well.